Now that we've covered the basic setup procedures, we're ready to make our first cut. The next segment will cover different kinds of cuts made in single cut and automatic modes. Single cut mode gives the operator the option to allow the computer to control the Z-axis and X-axis motion of the YUKON II. There are three types of cutting that may be performed in single cut mode: plunge cutting with flyback, and step cutting. Let's begin cutting in single cut mode with a plunge cut. First, on the touch screen, select the single cut screen and then select the plunge cut mode by pressing the cut mode key until plunge cut is displayed. Position the material on the table using the laser or a reference cut in the table to square up the piece. Verify that the Z and X-axis soft limits are set correctly. Check the blade kerf setting. Typically, amp control is used during these cutting cycles. Make sure the amp control parameters are set properly and turned on. If you want to control the X-axis speed manually with the speed pot, be sure to enter the stone at a low speed. Using the Y-axis joystick, line up the first cut using the reference laser. Then move the arbor to the Z- and X- soft limit position. The blade should rest on the lower Z- limit, in this case 1/8 to 1/4 inch below the top of the table. Then press the cycle start key to begin cutting. When the plunge cut cycle is complete, the arbor will return at high speed through the cut to its initial starting location, ready for the next cutting cycle. You can store up to 3 cut widths on the single cut screen for single cut moves. Enter the desired cut widths, and the YUKON II will automatically take into account the kerf value you entered previously. The desired cut width is selected by touching the arrow in front of the entry. Press and hold the Move Single Cut key to move the indicated distance. Next, we'll perform a plunge cut with flyback, in which the blade moves to its upper limit before returning to the X- position. On the single cut screen, press the Cut Mode selection key to plunge with flyback. As we did before, check your soft limits, your kerf setting, and your amp control parameters. If you're manually controlling the arbor speed, set the X+ speed pot to a low setting. Then return to the single cut screen. Using the joysticks, place the arbor in the Z+ and X- position. Then align the cut using the Y-axis joystick and laser reference. Press the cycle start key to begin cutting. Once the plunge with flyback cycle is complete, the arbor will return at high speed to the Z+ and X- position, ready for the next cutting cycle. Now on to the third kind of cut in the single cut mode, step cutting, in which the blade makes several passes of increasing depth until the cut is complete. Select Step Cut mode by pressing the Cut Mode selection key on the single cut screen. And then verify your soft limits, amp control parameters, and kerf setting. Next, decide whether you want the Last Pass feature to be activated. The Last Pass feature programs the saw to always make the last cutting pass in the X- direction at a slower speed. Because the blade is cutting up into the stone, last pass can help minimize stone chipping to create a smoother edge. To enable the last pass feature, press the last pass height key and enter your desired last pass height. This setting determines how much material will be left for the final cutting pass and is made based on the kind of material to be cut and the thickness of the slab. For example, entering a last pass height of 1/2 inch will assure that a 1/2 inch of stone will remain for the last cut. Next, set your step drop value. This is the amount in inches the blade will drop before each cutting pass. For example, a setting of -0.75 will cause the blade to drop 3/4 of an inch on each pass. Then set your last pass speed, which is set at a slower speed. We'll set it here at 5 feet per minute. If you wish to disable the last pass feature, press the last pass height key and enter a value of -1.00. Once you've set your last pass values, return to the single cut screen. Use the joysticks to place the arbor in the up and away, or Z+ and X- soft limit position. With the Y-axis joystick, line up the first cut with the reference laser, and press the cycle start key to begin cutting. If you're manually controlling the arbor speed, set the X+ speed pot to a low speed. When the cutting cycle is complete, the arbor will return to the initial starting location, ready for the next cut.